Welcome back. Around every corner in Albany County is a story as old as the nation itself, maybe even older. And one of those stories has been hiding in plain sight on an ordinary property for the past 2 centuries.
News 10's Vanessa Blassi has been digging into this spot where she found a worldwide group that gets together once a year, but they have a dark secret.
On the edge of a main road in Albany County, an idyllic white house sits on a quiet farm that's been in the same family for over 200 years. To passers-by, it's an ordinary property, but behind the home lies a church that's anything but ordinary.
This was our go-to happy place, and that's what makes it so hard.
John Picklingus was born and raised in Albany County. On the outside, his life seemed perfectly normal, but on the inside, he was part of a church with no name.
You get the impression that it's a very good place. And since we weren't allowed to see outside too much, it was hard to make a good comparison. All right, so this would be my mom and dad. They were brought into this when they were quite young.
As a member of this secretive religious sect for 55 years, John recalls spending much of his life in the shadows.
I was born into it, so that became my truth from day one.
A truth that has no name, no singular place of worship, and no official leader. By outsiders, they're called the 2x2s.
The ministers go out in pairs together, 2 by 2, but inside the church, they do not acknowledge or claim a name at all.
Their preachers go about homeless, giving away everything they have, taking just a suitcase and living with the members.
Cherie Kropp-Erig, an ex-2x2 member who wrote a book on the church, says the 2x2s operate worldwide. They claim to follow the New Testament, but their practices are riddled with dozens of uncommon and unspoken rules.
Females are expected to wear skirts and dresses. You have your hair up in a bun. You're not allowed to cut your hair, dye your hair. No makeup, no jewelry.
Kari Hanks was a member until only a few years ago and says the list goes on, and they believe it's all to save their souls.
They believe that they're the only church who will get to heaven, that you must be in that church if you want to have eternal life. That all other churches are false, and their preachers are false, and their members are sincere, but they're sincerely wrong.
Each August, members of this group gather on the same farm in Albany County for one weekend. They call it a convention, one that John attended for over 20 years.
For us as youths, we were looking forward to it because it was the place where we could socialize with a lot of good friends. So it was something that we really looked forward to.
We visited that convention where the owners declined an on-camera interview, but made a rare offer for us to stay and listen to prayer meetings. We heard preachers talk about the Spirit of God, trusting God. For thousands, these meetings can be a place for self-discovery and finding peace. But for thousands of others like John,
well, it's cult.
Doesn't stop at just an initial arrest. We will follow the evidence wherever it leads.
The FBI launched a public investigation into the religious group this past February for widespread child sexual abuse allegations. The FBI's investigation is based out of Omaha, Nebraska. ABC News has spoken to dozens of victims in 34 states so far.
They're shocking. They're just shocking because these people, you put more trust in these people than you did your own parents, basically. That's how high you held these people. You held them on a pedestal.
Yet above those people sit the overseers. Former members say Ray Hoffman is the overseer for the East Coast. We spoke with Ray about the allegations, something no media outlet has done before. He wouldn't go on camera, but in a statement, he said they're just allegations. They claim a great number and say it's a great crisis, which we agree with. But to us, we know of only a few and have little information, so we're dealing with them. Ray also confirmed this letter was sent before the convention both this year and last, stating, if any kind of sexual abuse happens, do not keep silent. Report it to the authorities.
So who knows how many there actually are out there.
Abby Prusak was a member of the church until her 20s. Both Abby and Kari started a support group on Facebook for ex-members, a movement that sparked a national following.
we've had people reach out to us and say, your group saved my life.
John says he just wants to help those still inside.
It's sad, it really is, that they're so deceived. The people we love, we just can't help them either. You're just try.
The decision to leave was both the best and hardest decisions the former members say they've ever had to make.
Very happy. Best thing I ever did. Thank God every day I left.
The hardest part probably was trying to figure out how to have a community that you felt close to, starting from scratch as an adult.
When you're brought up believing for 50 years, when you stop, where do you start again?
The people at that August convention were welcoming, but they didn't want to talk to us about the story. They told me beyond that summer convention, their farm operates normally throughout the year. As for the investigation, the FBI says they're searching internationally. Anyone with information is asked to contact them, and we'll have more details on the religious group as a whole on our website at news10.com.
I'm sure a lot of people will be going into it going, I've never heard of this group.
Yeah.
I've never even looked twice at that piece of property as I've driven by. It's going to spark a lot of curiosity.